Make sure I'm in focus. Alright, let's do this. What's up YouTube? So today I'll be doing a live director's commentary on my latest self-shoot film or self-shot film. Never mind. Self-shot film called The Isolation. So if you have not watched the film, please do click on the link below. Avoid spoilers lah. For this commentary session, I hope it can help for those who wants to be a filmmaker, or probably you're just a little bit curious on the thought process on how a film is made. So I'll be sharing about storyboard, camera angles, and probably some a little bit on lighting tips. Alright, so let's get on to it. Okay, so when it comes to doing up your own video, personally I think there are two very important aspects. Firstly, pick the right color theme. You know, colors visually, they do affect someone's mood. It does portray a sort of like ambience. So for this short film itself, I went with a dark, contrasty, with a little bit of greenish tint to sort of like dampen the entire mood. Secondly, create curiosity. I think it's very important, especially for the first 10 to 20 seconds of the video. It must at least allow audience to understand the context in this video. So it can be enhanced. For example, you put it your movie title, and for me, most importantly, it's B-roll. One really common mistake that I myself used to do is that B-roll aren't just meant to be beauty shots. To me, every shot, every frame has to give a meaning. That's why you see filmmakers play a lot with wide shot to signify where they are, mid and close-up shot to really draw the attention of the audience of what the actor, of what the story is trying to tell you. I think one thing that separates an average and good filmmaker is that they try to create depth in every shot that they do. So depth is created mostly is when you try to put a foreground, a subject, and a background, because in this tight space there's not much depth to it. And actually very interesting is that I also create depth to my face by playing with lighting. So for this short film itself, I did not use any artificial lighting at all. So what is artificial lighting? It's basically like this key light which is lighting me right now. I focus a lot on natural sunlight, which I close the window as a very nice diffuser because the daylight is just too strong. And in fact, I'm using my table lamps light, which actually has a very nice diffuser. Yeah, and actually placed it on my chair over here to sort of like light up the right side of my face. Yeah, and it's sort of like create depth. Alright, so what I did just now was what we call a cut to action. There's sometimes some mistakes where I see people doing hard cut, but I think things can be a bit more seamless when you do this thing called cut to action. So for this short instance, before I finished turning my head looking out to the window, halfway through it, I actually immediately cut to the next shot to show that I'm actually looking out to the window. For this shot itself, I use a very tight focal length, which I believe is actually the 70mm, just to compress and actually bring the background closer to the window grill. So fun fact, I kind of like this part because I sort of like try to mimic a radio announcer and playing the Bee Gees Staying Alive, just to be a bit sarcastic about the video. So yeah, so this is also another method that I use a lot in this short film, which is actually called a J cut. So like the letter J, before you introduce the next frame, which is the image, you actually allow the sound of the next image to come in. So for example, for this instance, if you listen very carefully, there's actually a split second of the shaving sound before the next frame of me shaving. Okay, so for me, I like to play a lot with sound design to really enhance the visual approach. So for this particular scene, because I want to fade out the song that's playing in the background, Bee Gees Staying Alive, which I'm trying to build up tension. So I sort of like dampened and added a lot of low bass to the song and slowly fading out. So you see again, there's me editing, and slowly comes in a ticking, sort of like ticking time bomb sound effect, and this radio announcer voice, which immediately tells the audience that, hey, there's social distancing. However, some people are actually suffering from mental health because of not being able to communicate with other humans. Yeah. So this part I'm trying to build a lot of tension, and this is also another hard cut. Alright, I know some of you might say that, hey, this is definitely not shot by yourself. Well, it's true, but this was actually a shot was done pretty while ago. I think it was most probably last year. So basically, before me and my crew, we take on new projects. We want to test a certain color, we want to test a certain rig. We would actually test it in real life, in the real world, before we bring on to the next project. So this is one of our hiking journeys that we sort of like try to test shooting with our new profile color. And you can see from this video itself, the entire mood is different. Right? The entire color grading is different as well. It's very vibrant, and of course I play a lot with sound design, a lot of sound effects, which I think a lot of filmmakers do tend to do this mistake. So enhance a lot of things like the water sound, the birds, the monkeys, yep, even walking across the bushes sound. And slowly transit back to the real world. So actually really in this entire short film, I've only used 2 artificial transitions, which is the fade in and one is blank out. So yeah, that's it. I hope you probably will learn a thing or two about filmmaking. Of course, I'm also trying to stay creative. I'm trying to learn a lot of things as we move on. So if you'd like to see more of this kind of filmmaking tips, please do stay tuned and probably like and subscribe. I'll see you soon.